The 1970s felt like a road at dusk, headlights glowing, FM radio warm, and the world changing with every mile. Rock was everywhere.
We've got a wave in the air.
In basements and gymnasiums, at skating rinks and summer fairs, on 8-tracks tucked into glove compartments. It was a decade of riffs and radio stories that left fingerprints on memory. So today, we're looking back at 10 rock songs. Only those who grew up in the 1970s remember. Number 10, Radar Love by Golden Earring.
I've been driving all night, my hands wet on the wheel.
Born in 1973 from the Dutch band Golden Earring, Radar Love captured the restless spirit of night driving. Its pounding bass line and cryptic lyrics about telepathic love made it a radio classic. The sound of open highways and headlights cutting through the dark. It was the pulse of freedom, echoing across countless dashboards and restless hearts.
When she is lonely and the longing gets too much.
Golden Earring wasn't new when the track emerged. Already European icons, they found their global breakthrough here. Recorded in one electrifying session in Amsterdam, the song merged rock, funk, and storytelling into something timeless. Every drumbeat felt like the rhythm of the road itself. Each guitar lit a call to keep moving, to chase what's just out of reach. Lyrically, it's mysterious and tender. A tale of two lovers linked not by wires, but intuition.
We've got a thing that's called radar love.
Long before constant connectivity, this idea of radar love spoke to a deeper human link, that pull across distance and silence. It's about knowing, even without words, that someone's waiting just beyond the horizon.
We've got a thing that's called radar love.
When it hit the United States charts, it roared down the highways of the 70s, becoming the unofficial anthem for the open road. Decades later, it still blazes from classic rock stations, the eternal soundtrack of freedom and motion. Some songs fade, this one never idles. Radar Love still drives.
Oh, one more radar lover gone.
Number 9, Slow Ride by Foghat. Slow Ride rolled out of 1975 like a lazy grin, swaggering, bluesy, and built for summer nights. Foghat's jam-heavy groove defined the barroom sound of the decade, where music wasn't rushed. It was meant to breathe, sway, and linger, long after the record stopped spinning. The perfect anthem for nights without an end. Foghat emerged from Britain's blues rock circuit, yet their spirit belonged to America's open roads and neon taverns. Slow Ride was born from an unplanned jam session that lasted hours, a moment of pure chemistry that became legend. Roger Earl's drums rolled like thunder, while Lonesome Dave's voice rode the groove, giving rock a pulse equal parts grit and grin.
The rhythm is right. You know the rhythm is right.
When it hit American radio, it became more than a track. It was a ritual. The groove invited listeners to slow down, to live in rhythm. Teenagers cranked it in muscle cars, grown-ups found it in smoky bars, nodding to the beat. It was a song for those who didn't chase time. They danced with it.
The rhythm is right.
The single climbed the charts slowly, like its own title promised, and became Foghat's forever signature. It still shows up in films, video games, and classic playlists, embodying that carefree, gritty joy.
Oh, good dancing.
Slow Ride wasn't about arrival, it was about motion itself. That long, rolling stretch between start and finish. Number 8, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by Looking Glass.
She hears them say, Brandy, you're a fine girl.
In 1972, Looking Glass released a song that sounded like a sailor's tale wrapped in AM sunshine. Brandy told of a woman waiting for a love that would never dock, turning heartbreak into melody. It was gentle, bittersweet storytelling, the kind that lingered long after the final note faded into the hum of summer radios.
And there's a girl in this harbor town, and she works.
Elliot Lurie wrote the song while fronting a struggling New Jersey bar band, never imagining it would become one of the decade's defining ballads. Inspired by barroom myths and seafaring stories, he crafted a love song wrapped in loneliness. Brandy wasn't just a muse. She was a symbol of devotion unreturned, echoing the sacrifices that dreams often demand.
Laying whiskey down, they say brandy, fetch another round.
When Brandy reached number 1, it arrived like a quiet revolution. Amid glam rock and heavy riffs, it offered sincerity, a soft melody that carried the ache of real life. Its harmonies shimmered like sunlight on water, and its story made listeners pause, remembering their own moments of waiting for someone who'd never return.
But my life, my love, and my lady is the same.
Even now, Brandy remains a fixture of nostalgia, rediscovered in films and late-night playlists. It captures that fleeting ache between hope and resignation, wrapped in warmth. The world may change, but every generation still meets a Brandy somewhere, steadfast, strong, and waiting by the shore.
She could feel the ocean fall and rise. She saw its raging glory.
Number 7. The Boys Are Back in Town by Thin Lizzy. From 1976's Barroom Chatter came a song about brotherhood, swagger, and reunion. Thin Lizzy's The Boys Are Back in Town wasn't just another hit, it was a homecoming. With its mix of grit, pride, and melody, it became the sound of every long weekend, every friend group reunited, every night that started slow but burned unforgettable.
Guess who just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys that had been away.
Phil Lynott, the band's poet and frontman, nearly left the song off the album. Record executives hesitated too, until radio DJs proved them wrong. Its twin guitars from Scott Gorham and Brian Robertson danced like conversation, each riff teasing the next. Lynott's lyrics captured working-class joy, laughter after struggle, mischief after silence, the feeling of finding your tribe again. When it hit the airwaves, the song spread like wildfire.
Tonight they'll be dressed to kill down at Dino's Bar and Grill.
Teenagers blasted it from convertibles. Veterans used it as an anthem of return. It played in bars, in garages, in hearts, a song that gave pride to ordinary lives. Its chorus didn't demand attention. It earned it, built on warmth, rhythm, and the pulse of camaraderie. Over the years, The Boys Are Back in Town became shorthand for belonging, a melody that says, "We made it back." Lynott's voice, half smile, half sigh, still feels alive every time the chorus hits. It isn't just about reunion, it's about resilience, about remembering who you are when the music starts again.
Nights are getting warmer, it won't be long till summer comes.
Number 6. Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty.
Winding your way down on Baker Street, lighting your head and
Baker Street, released in 1978, carried the loneliness of city lights and the longing for change. Jerry Rafferty's wistful lyrics and that unforgettable saxophone line made it more than a hit. It was the sound of reflection itself, of tired eyes staring out train windows, searching for a better life just beyond the skyline.
this city desert makes you feel so cold. It's got
Rafferty wrote it during a lonely stretch between fame and freedom, battling industry lawsuits and personal doubt. The city became both muse and mirror. Raphael Ravenscroft's saxophone solo wasn't just a hook, it was a cry, echoing through empty streets. What began as frustration turned to art, a portrait of quiet resilience beneath the noise of modern life. Listeners found themselves in its melancholy pulse. The man in the lyrics wasn't just Rafferty, he was everyone caught between ambition and rest. The line, "He's got this dream about buying some land," became an anthem for anyone craving escape from routine. The song's warmth came from honesty, not hope, beauty in the ache itself.
He's got this dream about buying some land. He's gonna give up the booze.
When Baker Street climbed the charts, Rafferty finally tasted success, though fame never sat easily with him. Decades later, its sax still drifts across radio waves, wistful and wise. It's not a song you sing, it's one you feel in your bones. The road changes, but the longing remains.
You're going home.
Number 5. Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas.
Carry on my wayward son.
In 1976, Kansas gave rock its spiritual anthem. Carry On Wayward Son fused gospel harmonies with progressive ambition, turning self-doubt into triumph. It sounded like a sermon set to soaring guitars, a song that didn't just entertain but uplifted. reminding every listener that the struggle for meaning was the real journey worth taking.
Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man.
Guitarist Kerry Livgren wrote it as a message to himself during a crisis of faith and purpose. When the band recorded it, they infused every chord with urgency and grace. The intricate guitar work and layered vocals gave it drama, while its chorus offered solace. It was rock elevated to something spiritual, both a prayer and a promise.
On a stormy sea of moving emotion.
Listeners embraced it instantly. For some, it was fuel before exams, or battles on the football field. For others, it was a reminder to keep moving through hard times. The message was universal: redemption through perseverance. The song's balance of precision and passion made it both complex and instantly unforgettable. When it hit radio, it transformed Kansas from cult favorite to national symbol. Decades later, it still plays at graduations, reunions, and quiet nights, when someone needs reassurance that struggle has purpose. Carry On Wayward Son endures, because it isn't about victory, it's about the will to rise again.
Don't you cry no more.
Number 4. More Than a Feeling by Boston.
I woke up this morning and the sun was gone.
Tom Scholz built More Than a Feeling in his basement, but when it hit the airwaves in 1976, it sounded celestial. Its layered guitars and aching nostalgia spoke to something universal, that sudden flood of memory, when a single song can take you back to the moments you thought you'd lost forever.
I closed my eyes and she slipped away.
Scholz wasn't a typical rock star. He was an MIT engineer obsessed with sound. For years, he labored in his home studio, stacking harmonies, refining tone, and chasing perfection, note by note. What he built wasn't just music, it was architecture for emotion. When Brad Delp's vocals soared above the mix, the ordinary became transcendent, a hymn for the heartbroken and hopeful alike. More Than a Feeling captured nostalgia as a living thing. The mention of Marianne felt like everyone's lost love, a face blurred by time, revived in melody. Its shimmering guitars and clean precision bridged rock and dream, giving listeners both the ache of the past and the lift of possibility. It was science meeting soul, circuitry meeting longing. When it reached the charts, it didn't just succeed, it redefined radio. Boston's debut became one of the fastest-selling albums in history, yet the song itself felt timeless, untouched by trend or decade. Even today, that opening chord can still raise goosebumps, reminding us that some memories don't fade. They hum quietly beneath every heartbeat. Number 3. Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits.
A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time.
In 1978, Dire Straits quietly changed the airwaves with Sultans of Swing. Amid disco's glitter and punk's edge, Mark Knopfler's clean guitar and storyteller's calm offered something deeply human. A portrait of musicians who played not for fame, but for the sheer joy of sound and the poetry of imperfection.
And Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene.
Knopfler wrote it after watching a pub band perform to a nearly empty crowd, captivated by their devotion. Their name, the Sultans of Swing, became a metaphor for unheralded artistry, music as calling, not career. Recorded in one understated take, it stood apart from the era's flash. No pyrotechnics, just pure tone, economy, and the quiet pride of players who never quit.
We are the Sultans. We are the Sultans of Swing.
As it climbed the charts, the song felt like an antidote to noise and ego. Knopfler's fingerstyle technique shimmered with precision, his voice narrating like a novelist. Listeners could see the smoke curling above the bar, the band playing on despite the silence. It wasn't rebellion or spectacle, it was grace, the kind found only in dedication.
Get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime.
Decades later, Sultans of Swing still resonates because it honors the purity of craft. It reminds us that mastery isn't about fame, it's about love for the moment itself. For those who remember its first play on late-night radio, it's not just a song, it's the sound of integrity, played one perfect note at a time. Number 2. Smoke on the E. Water by Deep Purple.
Came out to Montreux on a Lake Geneva shore.
Smoke on the Water, released in 1972, gave the world its most famous riff. Inspired by a real fire on Lake Geneva, it turned chaos into creation and disaster into defiance. That opening guitar line became every beginner's first victory. Raw, loud, and unforgettable, echoing through garages, basements, and generations of dreamers. Deep Purple were in Montreux, Switzerland, planning to record their next album when a Frank Zappa concert nearby erupted in flames. A flare gun fired into the casino ceiling sent smoke billowing across the lake. Watching from their hotel, the band transformed panic into power, turning the memory of that night into an anthem of endurance and sheer musical instinct.
Frank Zappa and the Mothers were at the best place around.
Ritchie Blackmore's riff was simplicity refined, 4 notes that reshaped rock forever. Ian Gillan's cool delivery turned eyewitness chaos into timeless narrative, capturing the strange calm that follows catastrophe. What began as documentation became myth. For every kid learning those notes decades later, it's a baptism, the first real spark of rock rebellion and discovery. When it hit radio, its energy was unstoppable. It climbed charts across continents, uniting listeners who felt that primal pulse of creation. No solo or flourish ever replaced its sheer clarity. Smoke on the Water isn't just a song, it's a shared memory, a bridge between generations, and the eternal soundtrack of rock's purest moment of survival.
A fire in the sky.
Number 1. Hotel California by Eagles.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
In 1976, the Eagles captured California's shimmering dream and its hidden trap. Hotel California was both invitation and warning, its haunting guitars weaving a story of illusion, excess, and escape. It became the decade's defining mirror, glamorous on the surface, haunted underneath, reflecting both the beauty and the burn of the American dream.
They dance in the courtyard, sweet summer sweat.
Written by Don Felder, Don Henley, and Glenn Frey, the song began as a simple demo called Mexican Reggae. Over months, it evolved into a layered allegory of temptation and consequence. Every note shimmered like heat on a desert road, hinting at a paradise that felt too perfect to be real. It was fame turned mirage, melody turned mystery.
There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say.
Henley's voice told the traveler's tale with weary elegance, a wanderer seduced by comfort, only to find the doors won't open again. The twin guitars of Felder and Joe Walsh built an outro that spoke where words could not, their solos intertwining like voices lost inside the corridors of a dream that never ends. Hotel California earned its Grammy, but its real legacy is emotional permanence. It remains rock's grand allegory, a song that warns, welcomes, and lingers. Every time those opening chords play, the spell begins again. You can check out anytime you like, but you never truly leave the world it created.
Living it up at the Hotel California.
Music from the 70s wasn't just sound, it was experience. These songs filled car radios, high school gyms, and late-night diners, glowing in neon light. They carried us through heartbreaks, highways, and hopeful beginnings. And though decades have turned, their chords still hum in our memories, reminders of youth, rebellion, and discovery. Each riff, each lyric, each echo holds a story of who we were and who we still are. Because great music doesn't fade, it waits quietly until we press play again, ready to bring the past alive once more. If you enjoyed this journey through the golden age of rock, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more musical memories. Which 70s song still takes you back? Share it in the comments below. Until next time, keep the record spinning and keep the music playing.